Hi guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to Manifest 2025.
Woo!
My name is Isabella
My
and
name is Chika.
okay, so today we're going to be taking you guys through every section we had this morning. So I'd let Chika go first.
Okay, hi everyone. The first speaker for today was Miss Ogochukwu Anyao, and she talked about body image, self-worth, and sexual decisions. I don't feel like I can ever get tired of listening to such, messages or such speakers talk about that because every single day, I feel like youth teens should be reminded of these things of their body image and not try to like attach their whole worth to how their body looks like or the color of their skin or the freckles on their face or whatever. So she put us through how you see your body, what do you think about your body, how do you treat your body, how does your body make you feel. She explained that once you start treating your body right, other people would automatically start treating your body right, and you don't have to wait for people to validate your body or your feelings. And she also spoke from God's perspective. She talked about that your body, God created your body. And so you cannot be saying, oh, God, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Because God created your body and He creates everything in His own image and His likeness, and everything is beautifully and wonderfully made. Isabella put us through some other things she said.
Okay, so she also spoke about self-worth, your values. What are your values? So many people tend to allow people touch them anyhow. We were taught today, don't let people touch you anyhow and learn to say no. Or learn
Yes.
to say, I'm not comfortable with the way you're touching me. So if it's a guy or even a girl possible and you're not comfortable with it, you have to speak up. You have to say, oh, I don't like this. Don't touch me this way. Because you're what you wear, you're what you eat. That was what we also
Yeah,
learned.
yeah.
So don't let people touch you anyhow. If you're not comfortable with anything, speak up.
And she also talked about looking past this physical appearance. A lot of people do not know why they were born. She talked about, are you aware of your strength, the values that God has put inside you? She talked about David in the Bible, how he was aware that he had that strength inside of him. Even if he had not manifested it before he killed Goliath, he was aware of the strength inside of him. So he didn't care about his size. I feel like in this generation, if that was the case, a lot of people would care about how they look because they limit themselves to their body figure, to how their size or their skin color or their hair or whatever it is. So she talked about being aware of your strength, looking past your physical appearance and your body features, and being aware of the strength and the values that God has put inside of you. She also talked about finding your strength, working on it. And then on the point of self-worth, she said your worth is not defined by your shape, your size, your appearance, but who God says you are.
Affirmations. She spoke about affirmations. So we need to learn to affirm ourselves. Wake up in the morning and tell yourself, I'm beautiful. I look good. I look very nice. Say good things to yourself. That's a very good way to start. And she also spoke about healthy and unhealthy conversations and relationships. So we were taught to set boundaries. We
Yeah.
were also taught to respect ourselves and others. One thing about this respect thing is I've learned that when you respect yourself, people would respect you.
Yeah.
It's reciprocal. So you have to learn to respect yourself and make sure people respect you. Okay, so moving on, we're going to be talking about the next section, which was about tech is for everybody. So this one, when I heard the topic, I was like, how? Tech is for everybody from where to where? Until they explained further and then it made a lot of sense. So he said, technology is the discovery, creating, and innovating of tools for problem solving. So we gave an illustration about an hairdresser wanting
Yeah.
to sell a wig.
Yeah.
Your customer has to come to your house and say, oh, I want to buy a wig. She has to pay for her transport. She has to, give you the money, and then you have to go to through, what do they call them?
Dispatch.
Dispatch. So all those process, he spoke about how technology can better it and make it easier for people. For example, you call your dispatch and say, hello, oh, I want to send something to somebody, to a customer. And then your dispatch comes to your house rather than you taking your time going to the market and still going to the person's house. You just have a shortcut of doing everything. You can promote your business with tech through social media. Yes. And when we say promote your business through social media, he made mention of not using social media for the wrong things.
Yeah. He talked about the money in tech is reserved for problem solvers. So that one, that one was a kind of shade because a lot of people want to make money in tech. They want to do this, they want to do that, but they are not doing these things to solve problems. They are not doing this because they want to eradicate a want. Because when you look around yourself, there are so many needs, there are so many wants, there are so many things that are lacking in so many areas of life. And he also explained that it doesn't have to be Python, you don't have to learn Python. Just like she said, the hairdresser having to give her customer a product, she has to go through all these phases. But then with technology, because when people hear tech, sometimes they think it's just CSS, JavaScript, and you have to be writing code. But it made us understand that you don't even have to write a line of code. You just need to want to solve a problem. Technology, the people that created so many technologies that we have today, so many things that we are enjoying, is because they saw a need, they saw a gap, and they wanted to bridge that gap. So they wanted to solve so many problems. So he said, if you're not a problem solver, you're going to have problems like enhancing in the tech industry. He also said the way you see a thing will determine the results that you get from that thing. Did you learn any other thing from his session?
Yes. So the first time when they said tech, my mind was, oh, I have to start pressing the laptop and coding and, doing the Python thing. But in the little way you can, in whatever you're doing, you can involve tech. From spoken word to fashion to hairstyling, everything.
There's also one thing he did when he entered. He said we should drop our phones on the floor. And he made us understand that you are different from your phone. He called it a tool. He said you are different from this tool, your phone, which is your phone. If you don't know that you are different from technologies, you will start behaving like them. And this is just like, the impact that phone has on today's society, how people can't do with their phones. People can't drop it for a minute. And he said, you're not using this phone to, solve any problem. So you are always with your phone. So he said, if you don't understand that you are different from technologies, you will start behaving like it. That's very scary.
It's
scary,
true.
and it's true, yeah.
Dr. Gladys made mention of you using your phone for 4 hours. A lot of people just scroll through their phone every minute, every second. They're waking up, scrolling through their phone. They're sleeping. They're scrolling through their phones, even in their dreams, which is not a good thing. Your phone can be used for better things.
The third speaker that we had for the morning session was Donna Amara. And first off, that lady, she's very eloquent, she's very elegant, very beautiful. I think the first time I came across her page, my sister sent it to me. And then I was like, oh wow, she's very beautiful. You scroll down, you see that everything she does, you will just know that she's a Christian girly. You never, no matter the content she's creating, she doesn't remove her identity in Christ. So she's very worthy of emulation. So she entered with 3 W's. The first one is, what is your passion? The second one is why? And the third one is where. Oh, I didn't say that, but she spoke on content creating. Please put us through the 3 W's.
Okay, so
what is your passion? Who are you? And what do you like? That's the first one.
Okay, so she mostly talked about creating content. So I'm going to be moving this question into that aspect of creating content. So many people don't know their passions. She said, you go into hairdressing. I don't know why I'm making mention of hairdressing, but you go into hairdressing and then you're like, oh, 2 weeks later, it's not working. You jump into fashion. 1 week, it's not working. You jump into coding.
So many people's reality.
Exactly. So if you don't know what you love to do, your passion is something you do. When they wake you up and they say, do it, you're happy doing it. For instance, the chef. I don't like cooking, but if you wake me up, I would be like, I can't cook. But we have so many chefs that when you wake them up, they're like, okay, cooking, I want to cook. So your passion is something you love, something you do freely, and then
She also said, in that, what is your passion? She also talked about identifying your purpose. Because so many people do not know what their purpose is in a particular space or in life in general or God given purpose. So she said, you need to identify your purpose and know what exactly you want to do. So let me talk about the second one, which is why. Why do you want to go into content creation? Is it because of peer pressure or you have a passion for it? I feel like every youth has gone through this why. Because you would see certain people having some kind of engagement and the benefits that comes from those engagements. There's this girl on TikTok, I've forgotten her name, but she's in this university like this. I've forgotten her name, but this girl, she posts like 20 times in one day. And then, yes, I wish I could remember her name. I've forgotten her name, but she's popular. She posts like 20 times in one day, and she doesn't have less than 20K likes on one of those posts. Yes, and she started from just randomly posting, and there was one time, I think like maybe last 4 months or so, a lot of brands started sending her a lot of gifts for her to do UGC, that's user generated content, for her to like do all those things, and she was getting a lot of gifts. When I say a lot of gifts, she was getting iPads, she was getting a lot of things. So when you see that kind of thing, it is very easy to be like, I have an iPhone, I have this, what am I waiting for? Look at what my mates are getting. So she talked about the why. Why are you going into content creation? What do you want to achieve? Like, what is the reason? Is it because of pressure? I would not lie. I have posted maybe once on TikTok due to pressure. I saw somebody's post and I'm like, let me go and post this thing on TikTok. Oh, it's true. So that was like, oh, let me just do it. There was no reason. There was no solid reason behind it. So the last one is where.
Okay, so this where was a bit complicated for me.
Okay.
I'll still leave you to talk about it. Yeah.
So where in regards of content creation, I feel like she said that where are you posting this content? Like she talked about the internet having digital footprints. So where whatever you do will follow you and the internet never forgets. There are so many cases where tweets where somebody made in 2012, 2010, 2014 is coming back to haunt them in this present 2025. That's over 10 years ago. So the places you're doing these things, they matter. You want to go into content creation, that's fine. What are you saying? Like, what type of content are you putting out? Maybe you think like, oh, in a year or two, everybody forgets, or even that same day, everybody forgets, everybody moves on. But then the internet will never forget. That is the truth.
So she also spoke about when you start, there is something called content block.
Yeah, where you like
Yes,
don't have anything.
you don't have anything. So she gave a solution for that. She said, when it comes, be truthful to yourself. Tell yourself, okay, I'm going through this. A lot of people go through some things and they try to lie to themselves that, oh, no, I'm not feeling this way. It's okay to be sad.
Yeah.
It's an emotion. Emotions are allowed to happen. So it's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel that block. But ask yourself, what is the problem? Talk to yourself. When you figure out the problem, then you find a solution. You don't dwell on it. She said you don't go back to your past and rest there.
Yeah.
So when you find out the problem, find a solution. Work on the solution.
I've seen so many content creators when they are having creative block. They sometimes call it creative block. So when they're having a creative block, they don't try to bring out. And for example, like people that are perfectionists, like they want to bring out quality content. So when they're having creative blocks, I see them on TikTok. They just write they'll write a caption like nobody talks about how hard it is being a content creator and you don't have anything to post. That alone is content. So when you have a creative block, you should speak about it and not just try to push out mediocrity. So I feel like that's a very wise thing to do. I see so many big content creators and they just talk about their situation, just like she said. You don't go saying, oh, why am I doing this, dwelling on it. You speak about it like that is a form of content. So one thing that fascinated me about this speaker is how she included God in everything. Her content obviously speaks about God. And there's one thing she said. She said when she's making content, she doesn't want to do things that would displease God or take the glory away from God. So there are so many times we don't even know, but so many contents that we put out, or so many things that we think, or so many trends that we indulge in, they are not bringing glory to God. they're not like helping us as Christians. And she talked about intentionality. That if you love God, you would want to be intentional about the content that you put out because you don't want to displease him. You don't want him to, see you differently.
Okay, so someone else asked about how do you start creating content, like
Yeah.
ideas, and she said your environment. I think this word too. This word has something to
Where
do.
do you start creating content?
Yes. So she's like, if you're in the university, start the content about the university.
Yeah.
If you're unemployed,
was
start
funny.
a content about unemployment. And then when you get employed, so it's like a stepping stone. So you're taking them through the journey of
Yeah.
how you went through school and then you entered the university, how they are annoying in the university. You come out expecting a job
And
beyond
you're
what
jobless.
Nigerians can be. So you take them through the process and it's anything can be content, anything. She spoke about aproko doctor.
Yeah. How to
Somebody
create-
asked about
How do you create educate?
yes,
Do you create
yes.
educative content or entertainment? Like which one
Yes.
sells faster?
Okay, she said when she spoke about aproko doctor, she said even when he's educating, he also involved entertainment. Like we all know him, he jokes around about it, but at the same time, he's trying to pass a message, telling you that oh, maybe the food you're taking, the fufu you're eating is not healthy. See reasons why you shouldn't eat it, and then we're laughing, but we're getting
Yeah.
something.
It even makes me want to watch the video to the end, even if
Yes.
it's usually long.
Yes. She spoke about attention span. Some people go there and they don't know what they are doing. They don't know what the
Exactly.
content they are creating. You're doing fashion, you're doing dancing, you're doing everything in one page, and then somebody is going through your page wondering, okay, can this person stick to one thing? Skit makers, they make jokes.
Yes,
that's
that's
the only
their
thing they do.
niche, yeah.
In as much as they advertise other products and the
Yeah,
rest,
they start with that, they continue
betting.
with that.
They advertise betting. But at the same time, they know the goal is to make you laugh.
Okay. So one thing she said about creating content based on your environment is that it helps you to be consistent. So for example, the way she was saying, you'd create content about fashion, you create content about, being a vacation girly, create content about like this, creating content about different things, it brings creative block because you're trying to think of this. But when you stick to one thing, for example, she works in a bank, so she's a like corporate girly and she also creates content. She said anything that happens in the bank, she uses it to create content. It helps her to be consistent because she can't run out of content. I'm in the university. There's 100 things that happen in one day that you could use for content. You cannot run out. Like you just need to be writing them down because if this doesn't happen in class, this would happen to you on your way to class or something, and you can generate it to content, and it will help you to be very consistent in that niche. She also talked about believing in yourself and finding like minds. So there's a goal you're trying to achieve that, in 5 years you want to be one of the top content creator in Nigeria, and then you cannot associate yourself with people that they don't even know why they are doing that thing.
When you tell them, oh, I have a plan, they just water it down and say,
Exactly.
what kind of plan is
they
that?
try
What
to
kind
make
of
you look like, oh, you are dreaming too big.
Yeah.
So you should associate yourself with like minds, people that would encourage you. I feel like these 3 sessions we had this morning was jam-packed with knowledge, wisdom, and
Sure.
a lot of these things. And I can't even get enough. I am so happy that I am here present, here live to witness all these things. So I hope you got 1 or 2 from these things, either from what I have said, or if you were watching live and maybe I said something that you didn't even catch, I hope you got 1 or 2. Also, like if you were live here, present here to experience the whole thing, that would have been amazing. And we can't, that was nice. Do you have anything to say? I'll round up.
no.
All right, thank you guys for watching.